Um, yeah, thank you for joining us at Bat Battle. Have I said your name correctly?
Just call me, yeah, you can just call me BT if you want.
BT is much easier for me, thank you.
Yeah,
It's definitely difficult with some names, and you say it wrongly, and people look at you and laugh at you and think, "Oh, that's so
uh,
funny."
I'm used to that. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but I'll call you BT. Okay, that's cool. So, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to go and talk a little bit about your journey. Um, First of all, I'll introduce myself. I'm Jonathan Whitehouse. I look after global recruitment for University Bridge. I'm based in Hong Kong, which is currently roasting hot at the moment. It's the hottest time of the year. And I'm honored to have my guest today, BT. So you want to introduce yourself briefly?
Yeah. Hi, name is Batkhul. I'm from Mongolia, and I'm 20 years old. I'm 21 this year. And a little bit about myself. Um, I I just got into, as you can see, I got into UC Berkeley, NYU, and UC San Diego.
Wow, fantastic. And where is this photograph taken? It's a nice one.
It's on the beach, as you can see. But
Yeah, that looks
yeah.
very nice. That's a very cool picture. Okay, that's great. So, very quickly, I'm going to quickly introduce University Bridge and then we'll go through a little bit about your experience. So, University Bridge operates as a 2+2 program, as most people know. So, we help students get into elite universities year two. So, the goal is he's managed to do. Elite universities like UC Berkeley are the goal for most students, and we do this by giving very good one-on-one support. And these are some of the universities that we have guarantees into. But students do aim for different ones, as you can see. UC Berkeley is not guaranteed, NYU is not guaranteed, but students can still apply for these. So generally, since 2015, 80% of students will get a top 40 offer as ranked by the US News. The results this year, 81% into the top 40 and 89% into the top 100. Um, and the admissions rates this year for Berkeley and UCLA were 45% into Berkeley, 35% into UCLA. But there's still time because there's still some students on the wait list, so these are not the final results yet. And then these are the rates into different schools. We'll share a copy of the presentation afterwards with everyone so everyone can see. But UC Irvine, 76%. The reason that one is lower is because a lot of students are actually applying for things like computer science, UC Irvine, which is very, very competitive. Um, and this is the University Bridge centers across the US. BT's been studying at Santa Monica, but we also run centers in San Mateo, Irvine Valley College, Shoreline, um, and these are the sort of the guarantees we have. So it does vary state by state, but most of our students are in California. And we got a Virginia campus and we got a new campus in Seattle, which runs credits and high school completion at the same time. Okay. I love Zoom the way it carries on with so many joyful people coming in. Okay. So this is also a little bit about college care. So we give academic support, transfer assistance, and we help students to get into top universities. That's the goal with regular one-on-one sessions, updates, and GPA monitoring. There's some samples. Okay, I'm going to go straight into it. So, first of all, BT,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about yourself before joining University Bridge. Give us a
Um,
bit about your background.
yeah. Before joining UBridge, I graduated from a military school in the U.S. actually, Missouri Military Academy, which is based in Mexico, Missouri. And prior to that, I studied British School of Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia, where I spent most of my earlier education. I was born in the United States, but I grew up in Mongolia. Um, During high school, I'll admit I was a really unfocused student, and I liked di direction, and I wasn't fully aware of my potential that I could get into a top 40 school. And But over time, and especially when I joined SMC, I developed a passion for learning, and uh, and I like to travel a lot, explore new cultures, and this is who I am today, and this is what has shaped me into what I'm today.
That's fantastic. That's quite a journey then. So you've had a lot of experience of different education systems.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's very interesting. Okay. So, um, why did you choose the University Bridge program?
Um, to be honest, I took a gap year first when I after I graduated from high school, and because I didn't know what I was gonna do. Of course, when I was in high school, I applied to schools, but I didn't get into them. And I took a gap year and to see where I was gonna go, and I wanted to see, but most of my gap year I spent doing nothing. But I chose UBridge because I was looking for a second chance at fresh start to see where I could, if I could commit myself to something and uh, see if I can get a plan and see where I can go and see my potential. But my end goal was to rediscover my potential and create a new path forward for me to go. That was the reason. That was the main reason why I chose University Bridge and see what was my potential.
Okay, that's great. So it's almost like giving yourself a sort of launch pad in a way, giving yourself sort of, yeah. Because I mean, you must have considered, and also I wonder why did you choose the US? Obviously, you got the US passport.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at in different directions potentially, but I looked into because I studied in a British curriculum, and I was thinking of going to the UK, but I realized, but US just way better for me. I studied there. I was there for my last year of high school, so I was a little familiar what I have to do there, and at least I know where I want to, and I can talk to people. So I chose the US and I was looking into it and I came across with you, of course. You remember me first contacting you.
Yes, I do. I do. I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was never gonna apply. I was never planning to come to California because I was really interested in New York because I was trying to apply for a college in New York. But I ended up going to SMC, which was one of the best decisions I made, and joined UBridge.
That's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting. A lot of people do look at New York. They get all excited. They like the bright lights. It's kind of the famous place. You're very lucky you escaped the New York winters, that's for sure. Um, very cold there. California is a great choice. I agree. When you first came to Santa Monica, what did you find was your biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge when I first came to like SMC was adjusting to the fast pace of like 8-week classes. I didn't expect them to move that real quickly. I wasn't used to that. I'm used to doing just semesters, but it was a half a semester class. And another challenge was starting afresh in a completely new environment where I didn't know anyone. It really pushed me out of my comfort zone and forced me to step up and make my own decisions on my own and find my place in a completely new community. So I went out, made some friends, especially during the lectures, to see if someone could help me further in classes. So it really pushed me out of my comfort zone, and I gotta say I'm an outgoing person myself, but it was it was pushing me out a little bit.
That's fantastic. I think it's always very difficult for people to get out their comfort zone. Sometimes it makes people feel a bit uncomfortable at first, especially. It must have been quite a shock for you initially. You must have arrived and thought, wow, quite a lot of challenges. But yeah, you've done very well to overcome them.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay. Um, did you initially consider a major in communication? Choosing the major is quite a difficult decision, obviously. Um,
Yeah. Honestly, business was the only major on my mind at first when I was joining SMC. But while talking to my advisors at UBridge, uh, and I really wanted to. I'm a really good communicator myself. I really wanted to see what majors are they are, and media studies and communication major is still new to me. And I gotta be honest, I'm still exploring those fields right now. I'm keeping an open mind, and there's a chance I might even do an internal transfer and change my major during my new journey at UC Berkeley.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the wonderful things about the US system, though, isn't it, really? You've got flexibility in a way.
Yeah, I do got really, I do have like it's really adjustable. So I gotta say, you can adjust anything you want, and you just gotta try hard. That's it.
Fantastic. Um, Okay, so I mean, you've obviously at Santa Monica, you have other classmates. Some of them are UBridge students, some are not. How did you feel about, did you have, how did your classmates get along with their transfer plans? I mean, because you strike me as being very focused, you've got great results, you've done very well. But do you think all your classmates had clear direction for transfer like you, or were some of them maybe a bit more lost?
Um, so transferring from a community college to a four-year university was like completely new to me until I joined UBridge, of course. I honestly didn't know much about the process, but having support from an advisor at University Bridge, like Eugenia is my advisor,
Yeah.
which made a huge difference for me. She helped me stay on track, plan ahead, understand what steps I needed to take. Compared to some of my classmates who didn't have that kind of guidance, I definitely had much clearer direction and more confidence in my transfer plan.
I think for a lot of people, they think it's quite easy to transfer. I talked to people across the world. I was talking to someone in Hong Kong yesterday, and they said it's very easy to transfer. Um, but I mean, I'm sure you'll agree that there are quite a lot of things required.
Oh, I don't think it's an easy process. I'm still getting help from my advisors to this point because even if you transfer, you wouldn't know what you're gonna do in that four-year college, and you'll still seek guidance, help, and which is big part of what UBridge is.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's very important to have that kind of support. Um, So, I mean, many people who look at the US system are terrified of the essays and the transfer application. Tell me a little bit about how hard did you find the transfer application and the essays? Because a lot of students really panic about the essays, to be honest.
The transfer application process wasn't completely new to me because since I actually it's my third time applying to schools, but even with that experience, it was still challenging. But you really have to take everything into consideration, especially when it comes to the essays. It takes time and reflection and clear understanding of your goals. You got to be clear, goal oriented, and then you have to double check everything. You gotta get second opinions on it, even if you think it's perfect, but you still gotta make sure other people think it's because you're sending it to a universities people. What I don't, you might think it's perfect, but other people might think it's not. So that's about it.
How many drafts did you do of your essays? I'm just curious. I was talking to a student the other day and she was telling me she did about 8 or 9 drafts. And then I talked to another student who did 50 drafts. How many drafts do you think it takes to make the essays perfect? I guess it varies student by student, but what do you think?
So in my case, it was around about three.
Okay, that's not too many. That's
Yeah,
pretty.
it's because I took my essays that I did in high school, I took my essays that I did in my gap year, and I salvaged from it, and then I sent it to my university UBridge advisor, of course, and then I took her second opinion on it and see what she says, and she was like, "You could fix this part, and you could fix this part, that it will be much clearer." And I fixed that part, and then just in case, we did a final draft together, saying to make this thing perfect because I wanted it to be perfect, so I can do whatever I want.
That's great. I mean, obviously you've got some experience of doing those type of essays before, but for many students who haven't, I think they find it quite daunting. And it's good that I mean, three drafts is quite impressive actually. And obviously they liked it because you got the offers. That's the result at the end of it. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, Tell us a little bit about your University Bridge advisor. How did she help you over the 2 years? What sort of things did she do to help?
Yeah. I gotta say, Eugenia is one of the most helpful people I have ever met in my life. Over the past 2 years, she's been my go-to person whenever I needed support, whether it was academics or even just adjusting to life in LA. Whenever I feel stressed or about not getting an A or unsure of if I should drop a class, she's always there to calm me down and help me think clearly. Her support really made a difference in my journey at SMC. Uh, because and just adjusting to a new life in a completely different country, and then she knew where I was coming from because she was a transfer student herself, and she told me like what it was and what she had to do, and then so I was because I panic a lot because if my grade goes under a little bit, I panicked a lot, and she helped me a lot in process because we I think we really got to know each other.
I think that's great. It's great to have somebody you can turn to for that kind of support, and somebody to guide you as well. Because I think many students do find obstacles on the path because the 2 years is a journey, and I think there's quite a lot to do. And I know many students do panic. You're not alone. I think many people don't get an A and they're quite disappointed. But the thing is, you've always got to bounce back. Uh,
Yeah.
um, so. Talking a bit more about your advisor, the communication, did you mostly talk by WhatsApp? How did you communicate? And can you give us a few examples of sort of things she did to help? Obviously, she helped you with essay drafting and class selection, but was there anything you remember that was particularly helpful?
Oh yeah. Based off your question, I'd say my communication with Eugenia has been really smooth. She understands me really well. She's quick to respond whenever I need help. For example, there was a time I was really anxious. Like I could remember me saying I was thinking of dropping a class. Because if my grades like drop below average, like a percentage, let's say it would drop a little bit under like 85%, because I was always aiming for A's because that's where my GPA is based, and I wanted to keep my GPA high, and I really value getting A's. So I was seriously considering dropping a class, but Eugenia stepped in right away, did the calculations with me, and showed me that it was still possible to get an A. And her guidance helped me stay calm and stay on track. And if I needed an emergency, like let's say if anything, like my SIM card in the US stopped working, the first person I would contact is Eugenia because she's helping me in that way.
Yeah, I think those things do make people panic. In the modern world, if you have problems with your mobile phone, it can be a nightmare. Um,
Yeah.
I do know. That's great to hear. Um, what did you enjoy most about living in California? Apart from the weather, the lifestyle, it's fantastic, obviously, but what did you enjoy?
I've always loved California, especially LA, because that's where I was born. So when I moved there, I had high expectations, and I can honestly say they were met. One of the things I enjoyed most was the lifestyle. I was able to take a 10-minute bus ride on to the beach right after class on a random Tuesday. I always loved exploring LA, visiting the tourist spots, just making a lot of great memories along the way.
Yeah, I think that's true. That's what I know many students do love is the beaches nearby. It's a great environment with a very nice climate as well. It's
Yeah.
definitely a great place to be. I agree with you. Um, what advice would you give students aiming for top US universities who are finishing high school? I meet many students and they tell me they want to go to NYU or UC Berkeley. You've obviously got the offers for both. Um, what advice would you give them? Um, Many students apply directly using the common application, which is extremely difficult. Um,
Yeah. So my advice to the students who's aiming for top universities is to stay consistent and stay focused and never stay off track. Even if things don't go always as planned, it's okay. It's okay to have not have everything figured out right away. What matters is you keep on pushing forward and take advantage of the resources around you, like advisors, teachers, and support programs. Don't be afraid to ask for help and don't compare your path to others. Everyone has a different journey. That's what I think. And sometimes a second chance can lead to something even better than you imagined.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I think I always tell people that if they're not successful with their applications, like through the common application, I meet students who are very upset. They don't get any offers. And I tell them you can still try again. You can still go through the UBridge program and be a transfer student and still be successful.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that as you can remember when I first came,
Yeah.
I didn't talk about UC schools. I was not even interested. But the first thing I was interested is NYU, but I had still had UC schools in mind but I never thought I would get into UC Berkeley or I'm still waiting for my offer on UCLA as well as you know.
Yeah.
Uh, but UC Berkeley is my first choice and I'm committed to that right now.
I think Berkeley's a wonderful choice. It's a great university, as is NYU.
Yeah.
There's no question. The choice of the two of them is most people's dream. Um, and I always say to people that, that's it's always good to try and make your dream come true if you can. It's very hard to get in for year one, and people shouldn't be disheartened by it and feel that that's the end because they can still try again. And as a transfer student, your statistics are actually better. You've got a better chance than you would do for year one. Year
Yes.
one is so, so tough. And it gets harder. I mean, Berkeley statistics for getting in are under 5% now for year one. It's very, very tough. Okay.
Honestly think I really really wanted to go to UC Berkeley because as you know my advisor went to UC Berkeley and she
Yeah.
told me
Yeah.
great things
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. I know. It always amuses me with University Bridge. We have advisors who went to UC Berkeley and UCLA, as you know. And that it's quite funny. I ask students sometimes and they say to me, "Oh, I'm going to go to UCLA because my advisor went there." But now, I mean, I think both of them are top schools. It doesn't really, it depends on your major, but they're
Yeah.
both, they're both fantastic choices. Um, so yeah, thank you so much for that, BT. Does anyone want to ask any questions in the chat? We are open to questions. I mean, I'm curious though, when you got the offers for UC Berkeley and NYU, what made you in the end choose UC Berkeley? What was the kind of the thing that stuck in your mind? You thought that was more attractive?
So I really thought NYU was my dream because NYU thought is I thought was the is the limit that I could go to because at the end I didn't feel comfortable and I realized California is just a way better choice for me, and I think I should stay in California and see where the new journey takes me. And I want to try something new, not just try keep myself focused on one thing.
That's very good. So it will certainly be different. Going to Berkeley, it's a different environment to Santa Monica, but it will be an exciting journey, I'm sure.
Yeah, hopefully this path takes me to a new path where I wish I could go.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Open to questions. Does anybody have any questions they would like to ask? Please type into the chat and we'll happily address any questions. Evgenia says sends her apologies, by the way. She said she cannot make it today. The time's
Oh, yeah, time's probably
not the best.
yeah,
Uh,
not the best timing for her.
okay, I'll just give people a minute to ask any questions. But what's your plan for the summer?
Honestly, I'm still anxious about my things right now. I'm still getting everything ready for UC Berkeley. Uh, as you know, residency tasks and everything.
Yeah,
And I'm still getting that sorted out with Eugenia. Me and her are working on everything right now.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's yeah, no, definitely. Then you organize accommodation there. You've got all the things to do before you go. Yeah. Um, but at least you're in Mongolia for the best time of the year. The summer is beautiful.
Yeah, you could say that as well. Uh, I hope to see you one day again in real life, actually.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm planning a visit in possibly September. I don't know if you'll still be there. You might be back in the
I
States.
don't think I'll be here. I think I'm
Never
leaving
mind.
early August.
Never mind. I might see you in Berkeley. I might be over there later in the year too. Let's see. Um, does anyone have any questions? I'll give everyone another minute. I think you've done a fantastic job and you've answered everyone's questions. It seems to me that everybody has got no questions, but I just want to say, BT, best of luck at UC Berkeley. Thank you so much for joining us today. We do appreciate you joining us in the holiday, and good luck with everything. And keep in touch. And we look forward to hearing about your successes. Who knows? Maybe you'd go to UC Berkeley and then NYU for your masters later, or somewhere else. We look forward to hearing. But yeah, a massive thank you for joining us today. And thank you for everyone. And we'll share the recording and the presentation after this. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you for inviting me as well.
Yeah,
And I hope you have a great summer as well.
you too. You too. Have a
I'll
great.
make sure I'll update you and Eugene on everything.
Please do. Please do. Keep in touch. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
BT. Take care.
Thank
See you
you.
soon.
Take care.